How well can you persuade and influence? Stay tuned. This is Damon Cart from NLP Gym. How to manipulate people. NLP Mind Control, Part 3. This is the third video in a series of 3 videos about manipulation, persuasion, and influence using NLP. If you haven't already, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. The more sensory-based words you use when you're persuading someone, the better. The more clearly you can paint that picture of where you want them to go, the more likely they are to go there. It's what you often hear when you're in a creative writing class where they say, show, don't tell. So you can tell a person this is what they should and should not do, but when you make it about the visual, what are they going to see? Or you put that visual in their mind and then you talk about what they might hear and what they might feel. The more you can bring these sensory words into describing to them what it is, where it is you want them to go, their mind makes these images and these sounds and it becomes more of a reality to them. This becomes really important, especially when they raise objections. If a person raises an objection, you don't want to restate the objection, which is you often hear in sales training is that you repeat the other person's words to gain rapport. Well, not once you've gotten beyond the rapport part. Once you've got the rapport and they start raising objections, you want to reframe and go the direction that you want to take them. So, for example, and just to be a little silly here, say you're trying to sell them an elephant and they say, well, I don't want an elephant, I want a horse. If you say, so you don't want an elephant, you want a horse, what you're doing is you're putting that image of a horse back in their mind, or just by saying, oh, you don't want a horse. If you try to overcome their objection by telling them the opposite or negating what it is that they want, you're still putting that image of a horse in their mind, and that's what they're seeing when they have to understand what it is that you're saying. They have to make these images. So you might want to say something like, well, let's set that aside for a moment. So you're saying to put that image out of the way and think for a moment about the elephant, or then you start going down the route of selling the elephant. So you're putting that image of what it is you want them to, the direction you want them to go in their minds. It's important to understand that the unconscious doesn't process negation. The conscious mind is the part of you that negates something, but before it can even negate it, you have to make some sort of sensory image or sound or something of what the person's saying. So when you say, don't think of blue, you have to think of blue, and then the conscious mind can go, oh, okay, no, I'm not supposed to think about that, but it's too late, you've already thought of it. So be careful what you tell people not to think. In fact, you can use it the opposite way. You can use negation to get people to think about the things that you want them to think about without them realizing that that's what you're trying to get them to think about. So again, if you're trying to sell the elephant, you say, well, let's not think about the elephant for right now. What you just basically told their unconscious is to think about the elephant right now, because there's no negation there. The unconscious has no way of negating it. It's just pulling out the image of the elephant, regardless if you're saying to not think about it. Also, when it comes to objections, you can reframe or redefine objections to soften them. The most common thing if you're in sales that you're going to hear is a person saying that they don't have enough money. Now, rarely is this actually the case, because you put something good enough in front of someone, they will find the money. If they see the value in it, they're going to find the money to get it. What they're basically saying when they say, I don't have the money, they're saying, I don't see enough value in this to actually fork over my hard-earned money for this. You have to speak to an internal problem. It's something, and the more emotional you can be about it, the more likely you're able to connect that value to what it is they want. So typically it's going to be some sort of problem that they're dealing with. You might want to rephrase their objection by saying, okay, so what you're experiencing is X, and what you want to experience is Y. And if I could show you a way to solve X and feel Y, then that would be worth your money, is it not? There's also the question at the end, is it not? This is something Milton Erickson used to use a lot to influence people. So by saying, is it not, You're getting them, it's just natural for us to go along with that, to agree with that. If they continue to object, then you want to take it away from them. So what do I mean by that? At that point, if they're still objecting, you can say something like, well, you know what, I think you're right. I think this isn't a good fit for you. I'm going to make a note of this. I'm not going to offer this to you again because it's obviously not for you. Something weird happens in us when somebody takes something away from us. Suddenly we want it. I discovered this whenever I was really doing a lot of life insurance sales, or trying to do a lot of life insurance sales. And I kept calling people. I'd call them like once a month and check in with them. Are you ready to do this? Are you ready to do this life insurance? Because they were already clients of mine. They already had insurance policies, other insurance policies. They just didn't have this. They sort of got the feeling that I was always going to be available to them. At any time they wanted, they could just snap their fingers and they could have some life insurance. So it didn't seem, there was no urgency there. It didn't seem to them like something they needed to take action on now. So about after the 6th time that I've called these people, what I would do was, and I rarely got them on the phone. I was usually just leaving messages. I would leave them a message and say, okay, this is the 6th time that I've called you. You say that you either don't have time to meet with me or you don't have the money. So I'm going to close the case on this, and I'm not going to call you anymore about life insurance, and I'm not going to offer it to you anymore. But if you ever want to reopen a case, then by all means give me a call. It was amazing. About 50% of the people who I did that with called me back. When you tell a customer that, okay, you're right, maybe this isn't a good fit for you, I'm not going to offer it to you anymore. Probably about half the people are going to now suddenly want it because you're taking it away. The other half will probably feel like that's what they wanted and that's what they think and believe, and that you're finally coming around to their side of things. What it also does is they're going to trust you more. They're going to feel like, wow, this person wasn't pressuring me. I'm going to want to do business with this person in the future. Maybe there's no business to be done right now. I've also used this in dating. Some people like to be chased, and I don't have a problem chasing as long as I'm enjoying it. There have been times where I'm sort of chasing a woman, and if it's kind of a game and it's fun and there's a reward at the end of it, where as in like I finally get the date, I finally get to be with them, whatever it is, then I'm all good with that. But there comes a certain time though when I start to realize this person just gets the sense that I'm available all the time. There's no urgency to solidify the date and go out with me or commit to anything. So that's when I'll tell them, I'll say, okay, you know what, it's been fun. I've enjoyed talking to you, getting to know you, whatever. But you seem really busy. I'm going to go do my thing. I'm going to stop. I'm not going to be calling you anymore. Or sometimes I will just stop calling altogether. And it's amazing. It's like, once you're less available, once you take something away, once something seems scarce or unavailable, suddenly people want it and they're willing to take action on it. I know manipulation sounds like something that's really bad. We tend to think of it as someone who has ill intent, who does the manipulating. But again, it's something we've been doing since we were kids. It's something that we do naturally. The more you understand when you're doing it, how you're doing it, getting clear about your intent and using ecology, it actually makes things much better for you, and it makes things much better for the person you're trying to persuade or influence. Karma is a real thing. We can consciously mistreat other people. We consciously create these illusions of separation between myself and someone else. And if I can get myself to believe that somehow I'm right and the other person is wrong, or somehow that other person owes me something, that's when people feel the permission to take advantage of people. But the unconscious does not see this separation. The unconscious sees everything as one. So if the unconscious is witnessing you mistreating other people, it doesn't see any difference between the person you're mistreating and you. So what happens is you start to mistreat yourself. You start to sabotage yourself. If you think of really greedy, manipulative people who hurt other people and take advantage of other people, look at their lives. They tend to not treat themselves well. Their life tends to be in shambles. They tend to be quite dysfunctional. If you treat other people well, you are more likely to treat yourself well. If you treat yourself well, you're more likely to treat other people well. Karma is real in the sense that if you mistreat other people, it comes back on you, not because necessarily the universe throws you bad things. It comes back on you because you start to treat yourself the way that you treat other people. Make sure you're using ecology when you're persuading and influencing. Yes, it is manipulation. It kind of is a dirty word. But now that you understand it a little bit better, now that you have some clarity around it, you can go into the world, persuade and influence, get what you want, and help other people get what they want. Check out my website, nlp-gym.com. Follow me on Facebook for real-time updates on upcoming workshops that I have. Also, I do free practice sessions here in Santa Cruz, California, so if you're in town, come check us out. If you like this video, please click like right down here and leave me a question or a comment. I will follow up with you. Stay tuned to the end of this video so you can see how you can get your hands on a free NLP online training. Take care. Haven't heard back from you, or you keep saying you don't have time or you don't have money to, and so what I said, blah, 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 blah.